What's happening, Achievers? Ajit Sidhu here from Invincible Achievers. Let's talk about something that's I've spoken about this before. It's a topic of better to be kind than right. Now let's delve into this deeper. Now kindness is thinking of other people. We should always think of other people. That's what kindness is. Thinking of others' feelings, their well-being, being polite, but being right. That's thinking about ourself, our feelings, our well-beings. This is something that we have to be aware of, because when we're aware, awareness is the key. Because when we're aware, we can actually be kind. If awareness is not there, then we start allowing ego to take over our mind. Once we let ego take over our mind, then we want to be right. I'm right. I'm righteous. I'm right. You're wrong. This is something that we have to think of in every area of our life. When we're at work, or we're with our parents, our brothers and sisters, when we're with our relationship, with our partner or friends, it's something that we always got to think. Are we thinking about ourselves when we're talking about something, or are we being kind and agreeing with someone? That doesn't mean you just constantly agree and aimlessly. It means when you know that when you're aware that this conversation could lead into a conflict. Once you're walking down that path, you can see into the future saying this is going to lead into a conflict. Now it's better to be kind. Now the only way you know it's going to lead into a conflict is if you walk down the same path. And my son actually said this to me. I was talking to myself in the mirror or walking around, and he goes, "Daddy, are you talking to yourself?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I am." And he goes, "You know that's crazy. That's crazy. That's first sign of craziness. That's first sign of madness and craziness." I went, "No, son, that isn't. You're absolutely wrong." And this is where I was going to be kind and right at the same time. I said, no. Talking to yourself is not the first sign of craziness or madness. What first sign of madness or craziness is, and I stopped there to see if my son was, if I had hooked my son into this, and he was like, "So what is it?" And I said, the first sign of craziness and madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And he was having a bath at this time, and he went, "Daddy, I'm having a bath." And he never gets me. He thinks I'm weird, daddy, weirdo. But that's the truth. The reason why we walk down the path, we know that what's going to happen is because we've done this over and over again. We've had this conversation. We've had this reaction. When we're at work and someone says to you, "Can you do this?" And you think, "Oh God, you've told me to do this again. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm right. I'm not going to do it." And you walk off. And you don't even communicate. You just walk off saying, "Nah." And you just ignore them. Now, that process is trying to be right. You're thinking of yourself, but you're not thinking about, why did that person ask me to do that? Are they in trouble? Do they need help? Is it going to affect someone else in the business or in my work? This is something that we have to start thinking about, being aware. If it's with our children, for instance, if your children are listening. Sometimes my son's playing on the iPad, and they're allowed to have the iPads at a certain time. And sometimes it jumps over the mark of the amount of time that they're meant to play. And that's when we come along and I say, "Son, it's time for you to finish the iPad. Because you had, say it's 15 minutes. You had your 15-minute slot, son. It's time for you to close it." Now he says, "No, Daddy, I'm just going to finish this level." Now if I am sticking to my ego, my rules, it's my rules, my way, I will grab the iPad, shut it off and say, "No, I just told you 15 minutes are up." But he just told me that he just wants to finish a level. Imagine us watching a program and we're almost to the end, and then someone says, "Nope, your time's up." Boop, switch off the TV, and you're like, "What? I was just watching that." That's how they feel as well. That's where you need to be kind. No worries. Once you've finished, switch it off, please. "Thank you so much. I'll see you upstairs." Done. Plays, finishes the level, switches off, comes upstairs. That's being kind. Kindness is awareness. So kindness Awareness controls the kindness. So if you're aware of what you're doing, this is when you can respond in a kind manner, thinking of the other person's feelings. But if you are in an ego, it's my way or the highway, then you're going to respond in I'm right, and it's going to be not a very pleasant situation. That's something to be something to think about. So we have to remember that the being right is the controlling factor of being right. The one who's driving, the one who's saying I'm driving this being right, is ego. Now, ego is basically self-worth, selfishness, self-thinking. There is a time for ego, guys. There is a time for ego. If we don't have ego, we've got ego inside of us. Anyone who doesn't know what ego is, research it. But ego is there within us for a reason. Every emotion that we have is there for a reason. Now, ego is there for a reason. Ego is there to protect you. It's to protect you, to say you're doing something and you fail, you fall, you're walking off a cliff, you're walking near a cliff, you don't know what's going to happen, you slip off and you go, whoa, and you hit your knee, you're about to fall, you're holding on, you kind of bring yourself up, you look around, so whoa, hope no one saw that. That's your ego coming now saying, you nearly died there, let's not do that again. So ego doesn't want you to fail. Ego does not want you to be wrong. That's where ego says, be kind, be right. You're always right. However, I'm jumping around here for a second. But ego is that. Ego is the one that wants to be right. Kindness is the higher self, our higher awareness. Kindness, being kind, you are aware of what's happening, and that's our higher self. And that's where we have to think. Now, a couple of examples is one I've just said is about your colleagues at work, or people that work for you, or the people that you work for. It's better to be kind than right. Rather than saying, I'm not doing that, they can't tell me what to do, whatever. It's be kind. Be kind. Think of the other person's feelings. Think of what they're going through. Now, if you can't physically do it at work because you're piled up, then communicate it. That's being kind as well. You're being kind to the other person's feelings, saying, I'm so stacked up with work. I've got this to do. By putting this on top, which one do you think I should remove? Or which one could you help me with? Then all of a sudden, the other person understands. But by us keeping our mouth shut and letting the ego take over our brain and saying, I'm right, I'm not going to do it because I'm so stacked up with work, that's where we end up having the friction. The other one is with children, like I said, with the iPad or anything. Say we want to go out this weekend. We wanted to go out to the Science Museum on Sunday. Me and my wife, we were prepared. We had the packed lunches ready. We were excited. We wanted to take the kids to the Science Museum. However, the day before, they had just gone to a soft play, running around, sweating. My son's leg was hurting. And when he came down, he said, I don't want to go Science Museum. I just want to stay home. And we were like, but we got everything ready. You will enjoy it. Come on, yeah. However, he was like, no, I just really don't want to. Now, us being kind was to think about his feelings. And we decided, no, forget it, boycott it. They are tired. There's no point in pushing them and taking them on. And they're just going to be upset. If we were right, no, we're right. We are right. We're ready for this. We're going out the door. It could have led to them having a tantrum, them not being happy, my son's leg getting worse. I think it was just post-exercise pain. But that's where it could lead to. So we just need to be aware. The other one is with the relationships. With relationships, this is where the main be kind rather than right comes about, because when you're with your relationship, when you're with your partner, we tend to be a bit more, our barriers come down, they're our other half, we should be able to communicate, talk. But then what tends to happen is our ego comes and says, we want to have a little fight, and boom, you get into a loggerhead. So when you have, not actually a physical one, I'm saying about a disagreement. Say if they ask you to do something, or you disagree with something, a small little disagreement leads to not talking. I've seen this in relationships, not talking for weeks, just because I'd rather be right. It's my way, I'm right. And that's where you think, what? Who's controlling you guys? You know, this is a relationship. This is meant to be full of love, kindness. And that's where I always say love, the opposite of love is not hate, because you can end up hating someone but loving someone at the same time. I'm not talking to you, but I love you. The opposite of love is fear. Wherever there's fear, there's no love, but that's a separate topic. But rather than just do that and have the conflict and the horribleness and the friction, why not just be kind and just say, listen, sorry. Why is sorry the hardest word? It's just like, if I say sorry, my ego's going to be smashed and I'm going to be wrong. Really? You'd rather go through the motions of sadness and disagreement and internal toil and horribleness, rather than just say, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say what I meant to say. I didn't mean to say what I said. I'm really sorry. Easy. So easy. Something to think about with the whole to be kind rather than be right. But then the other factor is, that's all external. The other one which I did speak about, and it's the internal. You got to be kind to yourself as well. You got to be kind to yourself in situations. Now, when I'm saying you got to be kind to yourself, then right, whenever you have ego that comes about, that's you trying to be right. Now, like I said, there's a time for ego. There's a time for everything. However, ego is something that comes about and plays in the field a lot, plays in the playground of the brain. Haha, I'm here, I'm taking over now. This is my place. Haha, you go away. Everyone else, I've got this. And it's all about the self. But it's also self-sabotage. That's trying to be right. I was right about that, and I was right about this, and I was right about this. I told you this was going to happen. If I did this, if I do this, I'm going to be right about this. No, just stop. Stop being kind to yourself. Start exercising. No matter what the ego says, oh, when you go to the gym, everyone's going to be laughing at you. Oh, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to pick up weights, or you're not going to be able to run on the treadmill. Oh, you're overweight. You're this. Oh, when you go, it's going to be so much stress, so much energy. You're going to have to pack your bag. You're going to have to take everything. You're going to forget your lock. You're not going to get parking. And all of a sudden you say, yeah, you're right. You're right. Be kind to your body. Your body is your temple. Do it. When you're trying to achieve your goals, you'll have all of these obstacles. Ego will jump up every single day. It does for me. It jumps up and says, see, I told you that wasn't going to work. I told you, and it didn't work. See, I was right. And this is my brain talking. Maybe my son's right. I am mad. However, this is my brain talking to myself, saying I was right. But then you got to say, move away. Ego, what I'm trying to do is going to help so many people. So let's keep moving forward. What I'm trying to bring, the product that I'm trying to make, the business that I'm trying to create, it helps so many families. It helps so many people. It helps people. I mean, I get this every single day when I'm about to do a Facebook Live. Oh, you might do this, or you might stumble, or you might hesitate, or you might not be great. But then it's just, be kind to yourself. This is an investment to myself, but it's also an investment to whoever is watching, and it might help someone. So, guys, it's better to be kind than right. Kindness is, just to recap, kindness is controlled by awareness, And being right is controlled by the ego. And there's two factors. One is external, and that's where you say, I'm right, and you are wrong to someone else. Or you can be kind to someone and just say sorry, or yeah, let's communicate. The other factors are the internal, your internal battles that you have with yourself, the ego and the higher self saying, oh, you can do this. The higher self is the one that says you can do it. You can achieve everything. You can add value. You can help people. You can give a portion of your knowledge. You can give a portion of yourself. The other one's like, I told you, you're going to fail. You're going to fail if you do this. I'm going to be right. I have to be right. Don't do it. Don't walk. See? Good. You didn't do it. So I am right. You agree with me. So I am right. So that's where trying to be kind to yourself rather than always being right, and be kind to others rather than being right. Guys, keep adding value to people's lives, keep spreading the love, and just remember, we're just one idea away from changing the future. Take care. Bye.